6. When does Champagne Sippers Ltd file its accounts and what will it show?
The company is due to file accounts on the same day as he is sentenced, the 16th of September 2022. Public accounts filed with the regulator Companies House are a condition of the limited liability of the company. And despite fines for non-compliance, Alex may decide not to file accounts or may not submit accurate information. The regulator doesn't validate accounts as accurate or otherwise. It is the information provided to HMRC which has to be super accurate and far more likely to result in custodial prosecution if they are wrong. Due to the size of the company, the accounts are very likely to be super simplified accounts consisting of just a balance sheet. This is going to be useless in working out the financial goings-ons of the business, unlike the more valuable information in audited accounts by medium and large companies. He should reveal whether he has taken money out of the company in the form of a loan, but he may not provide that information.
7. Is Champagne Sippers Ltd a genuine company or a front to pay Alex's legal bills?
It all depends on the balance between self-generated funds and donations received. We cannot be certain where the donated fees have headed: into Champagne Sippers Ltd's bank account, into Alex's personal bank account, or quite literally, into Alex's back pocket, such as bank notes posted in greeting cards, being used to buy groceries. Benefiting from not having a paper trail, we are having a guess that Alex's PayPal is a business account, as PayPal would have otherwise likely frozen payments if it detected hundreds of thousands of payments coming in for seemingly no reason. But we cannot be certain of this. A business has to sell a product or service, or receive an income through a commission for activities it undertakes. In terms of YouTube, the advert revenue is effectively subcontracting out the selling of advertising to Google, instead of doing the legwork yourself. For the efforts of Alex bringing in traffic, a business cannot, generally speaking, accept donations. It is not a charity. There is very limited extent to receiving tips as goodwill without that being connected to a sale of a product or service. Likewise, it cannot exist solely to support the sole director, as this loses HMRC tax compared to receiving that income as an individual. Adding in the ability to reclaim VAT on purchases is an entirely new level of potential evasion. Weighing up the business, which will have costs, he isn't renting an office or workshop for Champagne Sippers Ltd. The company pays no business rates, which creates questions to whether the company is designed as a proper general trading company for broadcasting, or whether he is laundering large sums of money through a limited company to avoid personal liability. If Alex, Tarquin and the like are not on the payroll and not receiving a proper remuneration in exchange for their time, this might tip the balance of the company being a sham. If home decor, expensive art pieces and holiday plane tickets are all business expenses, this is massive red flags, which need to be investigated. Alex's holidays weren't business trips. He wasn't doing investigative journalism. Quite a lot of potential lifestyle business expenses may be illegitimate and result in an unpaid tax bill. Much of Alex's video content could be described as cyberbullying and stalking, neither of which is business content, especially in a residential setting. The rooms he uses are not stage sets but rooms in a dwelling used for their typical purposes outside of filming. The clowning around parts can be considered entertainment and deemed allowable. His live shows could be considered entertainment and allowable. His merchandise can be considered a legit business. The free speech donations, whether they are received personally or through the business, considered tips if for Alex or Tronk if shared between multiple people, are liable for both income tax and national insurance. Alex cannot simply accept the donations through his company and loan the money out to himself to repay back without interest, or wait to receive it as a dividend. He is required to pay the tax on those payments. Alex also cannot send money from Champagne Sippers Ltd bank account direct to his solicitor, as the services are for defending Alex's criminal stalking conduct as an individual dating back before the company was formed, and is not a legal case of the company. In the name of the company, Alex could have accepted YouTube channel memberships and live chat donations to avoid the headaches of a for-profit business accepting public donations. We suspect Alex may have sent the business PayPal balance to the solicitor. The actual date of each individual transaction occurred when the payment was made, not when the money is transferred out. The PayPal account is treated as a bank account for tax reasons, and transferring out to a bank is an internal transfer. Likewise, buying goods and services from the account balance is treated the same as making a purchase with a debit card. It is not a hidden account of money away from government. There is no way of us knowing where the money has gone. If you believe you are a victim of fraud, you should contact the police in Action Fraud, whom have the required powers to delve into the financial transaction history of Alex and his company.
8. Is it too late for Alex Belfield to refund donations?
Even if Alex stockpiled your donations without spending, he has already paid transaction fees and corporation tax. He would need to give you the money you sent before transaction fees, pay for the transaction, and possibly even pay interest even though it is small and insignificant. This can total up to around a 25% reduction in the original pledge amount, or simply he would only be able to pay 75% back without dipping into his own money. It is much more complex than this if he has actually spent the money. Without information to the contrary, we have to assume that Alex has spent all the donations, the vast majority of money he has received from live shows and merchandise, and his YouTube advertisement revenue. But all this could be very wide of the mark.
9. Has Alex Belfield or Champagne Sippers Ltd transferred money out of the country?
We simply don't know. Many people are worried Alex has transferred the money abroad to family members, transferred to relatives in the UK, set up a bank account whilst on holiday to deposit, or converted, laundering, the money into some asset. There is no evidence of this. Time will tell. It is also rather feasible that Alex sent most of the money to his solicitor Henry Brandman on account, so it is not in his possession, and intends to claw back any amounts unspent once convenient for him. Alex Belfield claims to have spent all the donations, given publicly as £60,000, although not all payments came through PayPal, and his own contribution to legal fees to cover 11 magistrates' hearings. Having a top lawyer with a long list of famous clients will cost you a significant amount of money, however. Without receipts or invoices of the actual amount paid, Alex may be in credit by a comfortable margin. The benefit of being so high in credit would be an attempt to prioritize himself as a more important client, although clearly even with the financial support he won't be the richest client, plus also to give confidence to the law firm that he can actually afford to pay them for his services. Considering Alex Belfield's past bankruptcy, lack of intent to sue anyone, and weak case, there is a good chance the celebrity lawyer demanded enough money on account in order to fund provided services.
10. Can I sue Alex Belfield?
The bigger question is whether you would want to. Alex Belfield is a convicted stalker, the first convicted serial stalker. Just because he hasn't been caught physically stalking someone doesn't mean he has never done so, or wouldn't do so in the future. Especially upon leaving prison, he probably doesn't have any money. There is no real evidence to suggest Alex has converted the money gained into assets, or put into havens, and is much more likely to have wasted monies on trips abroad, or in boosting his lifestyle. If you aren't put off by the risk of being stalked, including by digital means, and don't mind the risk of not winning any money, you can serve court papers on his business trading address. You are likely better off contacting Action Fraud Trading Standards if you feel his company is a scam, and the police.
Thank you for watching this video until the end. We hope you find this useful. If you do, please feedback with hitting the like button. This is the last ever video to be published on this channel. If you appreciated the content on this channel, even if not all of it, please subscribe to register a tally of persons that enjoy this content. This channel and its content will be deleted within a month of Alex getting sentenced and jailed. If his sentencing is delayed due to the barrister strike or other reason, this channel will remain until a month after the eventual date where he gets sentenced. If Alex avoids a custodial sentence, which is certainly possible, this channel will remain up as read-only with no updates. If the channel disappears during such time, it isn't due to us. You may mirror or clone this channel. Just remember you are republishing the content, and you will be liable for the content, not us.